since it can heal and it will add more crowd control. But let's go. Let's see the draft.
We'll see if that option will be picked for both Coach Aldo and Coach Erbang in the draft here. Another Natalia respect ban towards Beloyski, and I expect another Kaja or maybe another Franco ban too from Bikiton Alpha, just shutting down Beloyski instead of Nile in the keys of victory. I think that's, yeah, there you go. Coach Aldo knows how it is.
Yeah, it seems like Beloyski will be the center of attention in the first phases of bans for the side of Bigatron here. Natalia, banned away, and Kaja. Let's see here, Geek Fam, now they're on the red side. Usually here, especially if we're talking about week 5, the red side has an edge. Will they be able to utilize that last pick or not? But it's going to be quite popular or cry or just such a staple ban, right? That Joy and as well as that Fanny.
It's almost like whenever you're on the red side, you just gotta take the Joy and the Fanny out. We saw a different approach from both Alter Ego and Rebellion Zion yesterday, though, choosing just to respect their opponents. And with the Faramis ban, that is exactly what Bigatron are doing. They are denying the co-alter away from Mr. Aboy.
Okay. So Natalia and Kaja has been taken out for Coach Aldo against Beloyski. Like, in terms of like dive heroes and pick-off heroes, Natalia is there, Kaja is there. The other options is Chao, Franco, or Kadira. And I think Beloy is quite solid on the Franco, even though it's got punished real hard against Rin for the Atlas. But other than that, I don't really see Chao being like one of the main heroes from Beloyski, so I get that Coach Aldo is not trying to purely target ban Beloyski here, but the first option for Coach Aldo is that utility, is that versatility from Moreno.
Yeah, it seems like Bigatron, even though Kadira is on the board, because they have Moreno in the fray, they will not prio the Kadira. They will instead prio Moreno Zero. It's going to be Valentina. Moreno, I mean, such a very good Valentina player. Even from SBS, his Valentina is a well-respected hero. The response is going to be the Kadira picked up forward side of Geek Fam, and that Claude early for Kadira.
So there you go, 2 dives that can be punished with a Minotaur, but is it going to be very pricey or quite pricey to pick it in the first phase of the draft? Especially this is Vid we're talking about. We haven't seen much Minotaur from him at all. And you know what? I think, okay, he should just try it out. Like, when's the right time? Right now is the right time.
Maybe, right? But again, if you go for the Minotaur here up against Valentina, it's very, very open to give that Minion Fury to the Valentina, giving a pretty good ultimate over to BTR. But I think looking at the Kadita pick now, I think they might want to try to utilize it into the second phase as a flex pick. Thing is, Bigatron have kind of been able to counter the Kadita using the Wan, but they pick it up themselves.
Nice.
They'll take it away, denying it. And now even a Beatrix pickup for Super Saken. Not a big fan of the Beatrix pick, knowing that against the Claude, it should be Claude who has a little bit of an edge. And again, Kadita, that's a very vulnerable Beatrix against the Kadita.
Very good pick here for that Minotaur. Why? Again, I think I mentioned this yesterday, that the Claude Blazing Duet can be cancelled by Minotaur's first skill. So it's just an easy catch. And the big AoE ultimate from Claude will be nullified. Let's see, Geek Fam here. I expect a jungler here pick for Nile. If not, second phase, a lot of assassin bans will come through for us at a Bigatron. Yeah, there you go. The Lancelot securing hero Nile in that first phase.
Okay, so against a Minotaur, you're responding with another dive jungler. So, you know what? I like the ballsy play here from Nile, but we're going to see how it will come to fruition in this match. But I think this Minotaur kind of forced Claude or forced Kadira to use the Purify instead of the Sprint. And I think that's very disabling for a gold laner or even a Claude user in general. You can't really chase down Beatrix as good as you're used to be. What do you think, Mirko? As a Claude player, I think you're a Claude player, right?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm a very good Claude. I mean, in this patch, previously I was horrible, but with the changes in emblems, it has lifted Claude, and it has given Claude a much easier route in the draft and in the early phase of the game, the laning phase. So you're talking about this matchup, Arlet or the Claude versus the Beatrix, yeah? I think it's going to be a very good matchup for the Claude. And again, against the Valentina, that's where it gets a little bit tough. And now against the Minotaur, that's where it gets incredibly tough. So I think in this game, Chidera might be forced to go for a Purify, and he will have to give a lot of that lane pressure over to Beatrix.
Okay, there you go. Let's see here what will happen in the second phase. It seems like Geek Fam, they
Fredrin?
will ban out the Baksha. Fredrin is still on the table. Will they commit it though? Are they afraid going up against the Fredrin here? Looking at their composition, yes. In theory, Lancelot going up against a Fredrin, Lancelot loses because of the taunts, because of the damage that Fredrin can deal as well. I think the Fredrin ban is sure to come through here for side of Geek Fam, but
it's
no,
gonna be the other one.
they deny another aggressive early game jungler in that Martis.
Yeah, it kind of works the same way. Fredrin and Martis just very, very big nuisance in a big team fight, especially against a dive comp. You're very good at it. Lancelot, Claude, the knockup from that Mortal Coil is just way too much to handle. But it's gonna be a pure ban towards Luke and his pool heroes right now. Not a lot of options available left in this EXP lane. And what are we talking about here?
Terizla, but then again, Bigatron, they're begging for
Valentina
Geek
too.
Fam to pick up the Terizla because they have the Valentina that can shake things up. So
And a Minotaur.
And the Minotaur as well. So imagine the Minion Fury combined with the Penalty Zone Flicker that Moreno most likely will bring. Oh, it's going to create havoc in the composition of Geek. But it seems like Geek Fam, they're still confident here that Geek Fam will come to round 5 according to Beloyski.
Oh, wow. It's a spicy taking it. I support that. I really support the confidence. Confidence first, man. Like, gotta believe that you can do it first. But as you said, Gani, Terizla looks like the straightforward option for Luke. With a caution, with a caveat here, Valentina with the IMU is gonna be ready to punish the backline. I don't think it's a backline, pure backline for Geek Fam too. So maybe that's right.
Yeah, I think it's a dive comp for Geek Fam.
Very dive.
They want to dive into the Minotaur now. And for Bigatron Alpha, we've seen response towards the Terizla. We've seen an X-Board. We even saw yesterday Cars pull out something like the Edith in the XP lane. So maybe that might come into fruition here for Bigatron Alpha, utilizing the Edith. But I'm a bigger fan of his X-Borg, and I think the X-Borg does really well against the Terizla, unless you get solo killed 1v1 early on. That happened to Sorizo. He should have learned from that, but the last pick here is what I'm thinking about. Is it going to be a Ling? Is it going to be an Assassin?
Oh, wow.
It is an Assassin, but it's not Ling. It's Helkert.
Helkert? Okay, so like, who is he trying to punish here? Maybe Lancelot? Because that skill disabler is just also a thing to consider for a Lancelot user going against a Helkert, but other than that, I don't think there's not much target or backline to go for.
Exactly. And to add on to that, Sheffin, this is a fun fact that's not so fun for Bigot troopers out there, but Ken has never won on a Helkert
Oh
before.
yeah.
This is his
KB
curse.
told us. KB
This is
told
his
us.
curse.
So,
Let's see though.
Yeah, there's insider info that Ken, even before he got to MPL or Pro League, okay, he's been having a bad record on that Helkert, even in community tournaments, Connie.
Well, looking at what Geek Fam chooses in that last pick, it's the Ruby adding more ground control. I think here the strategy from Aldo using that Helkert, that Dark Knight Falls, will not for an aggressive move. It's just for utility, just to blind the dive comp potential for the side of Geek Fam. Will it work though? That's a big question mark.
Okay, so that might be a way to go for Coach Aldo or for Super Ken. Even combined with the Minion Fury, that could be a huge threat for Geek Fam. They're not gonna see what's coming. That's gonna be their last surprise. And we're gonna see here the emblems and the spells that's been taken for both teams, Geek Fam and Bigatron Alpha. Pelosi with a very, very peculiar Ruby. We haven't seen this at all from Pelosi with that pull yourself together. Meanwhile, Luke going for a full-on healing and also durability. We're gonna see here Geek Fam versus Bigatron Alpha, game number 1. Here we go.
Here we go. Bigatron Alpha, will they be able to replicate the success of leg number 1? Or will Geek Fam this time with Chidera be able to overpower BTR, the Red Terminators?
Let's see though, with the Helkert curse, the Hell curse from Ken, will he be able to break the pattern? Now, Beloyski opted for a roam. I understand why. It's just to provide cover. It can open vision, but it is most likely to just provide cover for his teammate, because Helkert will want to go towards the back lines. But with Ruby, it will definitely negate the speed and potential that Helkert has in his kit. Take a look at the Beloyski here, will opt for that interesting. Concussive Blast and PYT as well, which means that he will be having the Flicker in an okay or in a shorter amount of time. But 3 Quantum Charges, the Grok, the Beatrix, and the Hellcurt. Man, they are looking for speed.
They're looking for speed, man. Like,
Ka-chow.
I think Grok is kind of weird in this meta, in this emblemization, because it doesn't really have a solid talent to go for. Quantum Shot even, it's not really a solid option, but Super Vin will be let go by Nile, knowing he doesn't have any resources to burst him down, but still, good pressure towards Vin.
Definitely worth it though for Bigatron earlier, but Gani, I need to ask you something. This Bargain Hunter by Super Moreno, why'd he go for it?
Bargain Hunter, it means what? He wants to give the mid lane towards Super Saiyan, perhaps. Why? Because he wants to funnel all the gold, that gold lane, and as well as mid lane. So with that, he will have less minions, and thus he needs somehow to compensate that with that Bargain Hunter.
Bargain Hunter, interesting choice in it, because you've seen a lot of mid laner actually going for a life drain, but a boy, good dodge by Vin.
Yeah, now it's gonna be Dark Knight Falls coming down. Super Ken with a good steal in. Now it's a Minion Fury, knocking 3 members up. That's a penalty zone stolen by Super Moreno, and it's a double kill for Super Ken, trying to lift his Hell Curse. Luke getting pinned down by the walls. Another jump in. Luke going to eat up all of that Stinger damage. Chorizo's just whacking at him, getting the kill, and now it's all Bigatron Alpha. 3-0, looking for this purple buff. Niles coming in, and it's a boy who steals it back. Now it's a Thorn Rose. Niles looking for more, but decides to disengage. A big W in the 2nd minute of the game for the Red Terminators.
That's already a huge W. 1,000 gold already in hand. They got the turtle, and they got the purple buff. Nile, did he get the purple buff?
No,
I don't think so.
It was a boy.
It was a boy. So again, now early game Lancelot, where he desperately needs that purple, will not have it. That's already a huge setback for this Lancelot.
Yeah, not only the setback in terms of just in team fight, because he needs mana to actually use those skills, but in terms of farming as well, it's gonna need a lot of mana to work with too. So Nile, I think, is gonna be playing quite passively in the next 2 minutes or so, but Super Moreno taking that Ruby ultimate from Poloski, we've seen how Penalty Zone can help him in a team fight, and that utility Dark Knight Falls, as you mentioned, Gani, just working perfectly for Bigatron Alpha, while Nile cannot execute that retry.
Yeah, it seems like with this, right, it's just adds more pressure now for side of Geek Fam. Super Bin though, take a look at the reinforcements.
Wow, Minion Fury, but his rage coming down. Beloyski now going to the midst of it all, but now gets bursted down by Super Moreno. A boy with a good kill back. It's Nile who picks it up, but it's a roamer. Traded in for a roamer, a 1-for-1.
Interesting. They're pouring out a lot of resources towards a roamer in Vin. I get that Vin is one of the most vulnerable members for Bigatron Alpha in terms of resources and skills, because it doesn't really have a lot of disengaged skills, but you have to realize it's a roamer, it's a Minotaur, and you can get counter-engaged quite easily. We're gonna see here another total take for Super Ken versus Nile with that Lancelot.
Rough Wave stolen. That's a flicker by Beloy. Good flicker out by Super Moreno. And it's a penalty zone used up by Luke. Now it's an all-in over to Super Vin. Nile with the Thorn Rose now holding onto it. Gets the kill, but it's Beloy who takes it away. 1-for-0. Geek Fam have regained control of the 2nd neutral objective. Chorizo is just walking around giving this vision over. It seems they still want to look for the steal. They know that Nile doesn't have the resources necessary. Look at his mana. Very, very low. Dark Knight Falls still available to be utilized here. It's there!
Oh.
Super Ken with a massive W, winning the retry battle again.
Man! Oh man, Super Ken again. Strike 1, strike 2. Let's see, will it be strike 3? You're out for Nile or not? Oh, take a look at the river there. It's a 1v1 jungler, but Geek Fam again losing the neutral objective. Though, economy-wise, they're just behind 1,000 gold. And looking at this, Super Moreno, I love his variation on the IMU, right? He stolen the rough waves, the penalty zone, and he has stolen the phantom execution. Now though, giving pressure.
Well, Ken dodges away for a bit. A boy is hovering over. No retry from Super Ken, but Nile decides to back away. Minion Fury, Super Vin knocks 4 before ultimately dying. Saken dashes to the midst now. It's going to be the Blazing Duet. Super Saken should fall. Beloy picks up the kill. A bit unnecessary there, but it's a KS, kill secure for Geek Fam.
Yeah, definitely Chidera. The adjustment is coming through for Geek Fam. Right now, Chidera is definitely the Geek Fam.
Yeah, GF.
GF?
Geek Fam.
Okay, I don't know what's that referencing to, but the adjustment is coming through compared to Marky in the previous games or in the previous leg of Pikachu Alpha versus Geek Fam. We've seen him on that Cloud, we've seen him on another hero, I forgot what it is, but it was like 0-4, like 0-4, and Marky doesn't really perform. And right now, Chidera is looking like the big replacement or like the super sub for Geek Fam.
Man, and the amount of crowd control that Bigatron Alpha has in their composition really negates the team fight potential that Geek Fam has, right? They have the penalty zone, they have the wild charge, and they have that minion fury. Penalty zone if Moreno steals it away from the hands of Luke. So that's huge. Crowd control AoE composition that they bring, which Geek Fam seems to struggle 5v5, so they need to find the right pickoffs, but the last turtle is here.
Moreno's 2 whole levels ahead now. Oh, Minion
wow.
Fury and a flicker, 3-man, a boy! Somehow steals it away with the rough waves, but now Bigatron Alpha are looking for the kills. Only Beloy traded in. Value trade by Geek Fam, and even in this 1v1 down bottom lane, Chidera is able to win in the 1v1. Chorizo super low.
Yeah, definitely. This is just marksman. Chidera is just trying to farm out. Meanwhile, all of his teammates is just taking the objectives. But Vin, though, that is intelligent, Gani. A minion fur inside the bush, and the third stun will not be seen by Geek Fam when they go in.
Exactly. And that is why the team fight composition that I've been stressing about from side of Bigatron Alpha, again, shown. But let's not forget Kadera. He has the Golden Staff and the HS will have enough firepower to actually find a member. Let's see Super Vin now, chunk to half HP.
Penalty zone, to Super Saken there. A bit greedy here. Super Ken in the 1v1 against Chidera. Chidera with the outplay and a shutdown from Nile. But it's Rage with a wild charge comboed onto 2 members, but no damage. They're able to escape, and a boy gets a cheeky little kill in the back. Now it's another knockup with the Breath of the Ocean, and even a pullback with the I'm Offended, taking Super Vin down. The Supers falling left and right.
Supers are falling, and Geek Fam is just embracing the chaos. The family just wants blood of this Pikachu Alpha team, and Nile will just not, stay silent. He's just gonna steal that blue buff quite easily from the hands of Super Ken. That dies just now.
Man, I just mentioned that Geek Fam struggled to find a good team fight 5v5. They proved me wrong. They showed, hey, Gani, this is us going at a fight at 5v5. Good penalty zone, already zoning Beatrix or Super Saken away. And unfortunately, Super Ken was out of position there bot side, which was punished by Kadera and as well as Nile. Dark Knight Falls popped as well. That's a waste resource on side of Bigatron Alpha. It seems like now, Bigatron Alpha, they have somehow recalibrate, right? They will have position in contesting this Lord, but Geek Fam, will they commit though? Because it seems like all what they need to do is just bait the Dark Knight Falls or even a resource like the Minion Fury, then they can go team fight 5v5.
Okay, so that confidence from Beloyski that he's saying he wants to go to M5 with Onyx or Bigatron Alpha is just not just all talk. Right now, Geek Fam is playing, I wouldn't say a whole different game than the previous Geek Fam, but there's still a lot of improvements to make. But right now, the improvement is coming to fruition, especially the adjustment of Chidera. Here you go.
Chidera has the corrosion scythe now, and you can see the damage start to pile up here. In the mid lane, Super Saken punished again! One of the keys to victory, and Geek Fam are utilizing a 3-man penalty zone, but it's onto a Minions Fury. Purify getting him out, but he's going to fall. Chidera, bit too much that he could chew. Moreno running away. He stole away the penalty zone. This is a 1-for-1. Both gold laners have been taken out of the equation, but Geek Fam will go on to the Lord.
Oh man, now you see him, now you don't. Just Super Saken, the isolation from Geek. No, oh my goodness, another penalty zone.
2-man, Super Moreno finding a kill onto a boy. Luke now pinned down by the wall, and that's the stinger from Super Ken to take back control. Beloy hovering over, giving Nile the right amount of space, but he's going to be zoned out, and Bigatron Alpha They can smell a Lancelot lingering in the back. 2 punctures, no resets. That's a retribution from the child prodigy of Geek Fam. But he gets caught in the wild charge. No blazing duet. That's a DBZ. A defensive blazing duet. I don't know where the Z came from. DBD.
Man, oh man, what a first game we have here, Chef Fan and Geek Fam. Even with just 2 members, Beloy and Nile, they were able to stay composed. They were able to jump in within the right timing, and they were able to get the Lord. Take a look at Lancer, building tank, guardian helmet, plate armor, war axe. This is why Nile, even though he brings the killing spree, he was still confident in contesting that retribution, and it paid off.
Nile, man, I like the improvements that he made right now. And that's probably the first 50-50s or maybe like 80-20s that he won over the course of his career in MPL Indonesia Season 12. And I like it. Also, that humbleness to go for utility jungler instead of pure assassin, knowing that you have Finn on the opposing side, Saken, and also Super Ken with the silence as well. There's just a lot of things to handle if you're not building utility.
And the intelligence that Nile brings to the table. You can see here, tier 1 top lane will be taken down. Geek Fam, 2,000 goal lead. It doesn't seem much, but it's actually huge because take a look at Kadera. He is already on his way towards his last item. Wind of Nature already built. So the main item is definitely there. It's all a matter of positioning. If Kadera can find and free hit the Bigatron Alpha's composition, they're gonna melt down by this, be melted down by this Claude.
It's definitely the question for Geek Fam, and also Beloyski, the saving grace of Geek Fam in Season 11. Right now, he's not alone. All of his teammates is popping off and is looking to help him to get that playoff spot in MPL Indonesia Season 12 and get to the M5 spot with Onyx and BTR.
Okay, it's pulled back, but that's where he wants to be. Red free battle there. Super Ken wins it, takes over the purple buff, and both teams, they stay disciplined. No fights unless Beloy with a quick stun. No, I'm offended, committed. Okay, both teams understand that it's very, very risky to fight here with no neutral objectives up.
Looking at the situation right now, again, Geek Fam, they're playing it slow. They know that 35 seconds, the second Lord will be up here. All they can do is just bait our spells, right? Just bait a flicker from Supervin for House, bait a flicker from the side of Sorizo, and also, if it's possible, they would love to bait out the Dark Knight Falls pre-Lord take. And of course, Bigatron Alpha, they need to save that resources if they really want to contest this next Lord.
Yeah, they definitely need their resources, especially Beloyski. From what I've seen so far, the Ruby pick is not really that important for Geek Fam, especially against a Minotaur. You get punished quite easily when you're trying to commit onto this beefy beef. So, like, what's the plan here? Or maybe just try to cancel out the Minion Fury before it begins, like just force him and not letting him do anything for Vin? Maybe that's the strategy for Beloyski?
Maybe to sustain with the Ruby, right? You're just trying to sustain here to give him out the right amount of space to set up properly for a boy, and maybe even Chadera. And there you go. Supervin gets knocked out by the Breath of the Ocean. Geek still holding on to this Lord control, and the Lord dance continues.
Remember the keys of victory, Gane. Pressure Supervin before objectified, and there you go, the pressure from Chadera and the whole Geek Fam squad.
That's a regen. Wait, Finn, Minion Fury catching Chadera right now, popping the Purify. That's a big resource, burns out. A wild charge on the back. Super Saiyan gonna die to Nile. A defensive penalty zone here. Super Ken jumps in forward, but it gets caught in the I'm offended. Geek Fam with a 3-for-0. Super Moreno running for the hills. Nile chasing him down. 1v1. Good poke down. Oh, penalty zone flicker. It's never a duel in the land of dawn.
They can end up winning. They have Kadera, who has that EHS and Golden Staff, but it seems like, is this the right time? Oh, they can end.
That slight delay in the minion waves in the mid lane to wait for it now. Genius. It's all over. Geek Fam strikes first.
Very, very fast game for the families here. Decoding the robots, the red robots, falls down in the hands of Geek Fam. But they have another chance to counter it, to get revenge against Geek Fam. It's not over yet.
It definitely is not over yet. And all members, all 5 members from side of Geek Fam knew what to do. Meanwhile, Bigatron, unfortunately, even though they got a stronghold in that early game, once the game has turned not to their favor, it was a struggle for them to turn the game back around. What an upset for the Red Robots.
It is definitely an upset, and that's definitely courtesy of Nile and his improvement, man. In that last team fight, he's just holding on two backliners of BTR, isolating them, and actually won the 2v1 battles. That is huge. You know what? You know how he can do that? With that plate armor, going for utility jungler instead of the full assassin combo that he has before. And that is what humbleness gives you.
And remember, the Hellcurt curse is still continuing here for Super Ken, unable to get a single match or game